God damn it!
Who's touching my damn things? Who the hell is touching Mickey Mouse's generators?
Why the f*** is Mickey Mouse such a player hater?
Hey, Mickey, your theme parks suck!
What?
Jacob. What? There's a man in the woods.
There's probably a lot of men in the woods. Huh?
Yeah, some of them with their pants down around their ankles, and the other ones down on their knees. But there's another. That's a story for another
That's
time.
a whole different story.
Yeah.
When I went in the woods, I didn't do stuff like that. I went out there and enjoyed Mother Nature,
Yeah. Me, I grew up in the backwoods, like way back in the sticks. And like me and my dad would always like go riding back there on 4-wheelers and stuff like that. But then there'd be days where me and my dad would just go like walking down the holler. We'd walk down the holler a good ways. We'd come back, and I remember, like, it wasn't a horror story or anything like that, but there was a pretty tragic story that happened. One of the former owners of the holler, family member actually, not directly related, but like he was my great-grandfather's younger brother. My great-grandfather's younger brother, so like a great uncle, like a great uncle 4 times removed. I forget the exact math on that, but we were back there, and I remember, like, we heard a tree fall in the woods. You know, that's the thing. You know, you hear the old story. If there's a tree, if a tree falls in the woods, and if there's no one there to see it, does it make a sound?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Well,
the answer is yes. You're just not there to hear it.
Exactly. So here's what happened. Me and my dad were back there, and we were walking down the holler, just minding our own affairs, anything like that. All of a sudden, we hear a large clatter, like something like just like falling in the woods, makes a big loud noise, and it was like a branch falling, or something real big hitting the ground. And me and Dad were just like curious as to what happened. Well, I mean, it was too dense of a woods for us to go through in certain parts, and we decided to turn back. We go back home, and then we find out that we get a phone call the next day. Turns out, my great-grandfather's younger brother, Larry, was out in the woods, and a tree had a limb break off, a big limb, and it fell down and hit him in the head, and it killed him.
God damn.
And he was up there too. He was in his 70s. But he loved to just, like, roam around in the woods. That's the thing. And sometimes there doesn't have to be a man in the woods or something horrible out there in the woods for something bad to happen.
Yeah, I'm more scared of the unknown than I am,
than I am of humans in a lot. Well,
no.
I'm scared of humans and what they're capable of, but the unknown is capable of so much worse.
It makes it spookier.
It does. And that's it's a paralyzing fear that we humans have in the back of our heads that we can't shake, no matter how old we get. And I told the story on the last stream that I did, the first Scream stream I ever did. Probably going to do another one of those, by the way. But it was a story about when I was like at my house, and I was asleep, and I remember waking up and looking out my window, and I to heaven and earth, to the stars and back, I swore to God that there was someone outside my window, and he was like peering in at me and then looking at me. And
I am
like,
the man who walks alone.
Well, that's the thing. I looked out there and I saw it, and I just I screamed. As a kid, I was like terrified. So I screamed. My mom and my dad both get out of bed. They come over into my room. They're like, Nate, what's wrong? What's wrong? You all right? You all right? And I'm like, there's someone out there. There was someone outside the window. I could see him. There was someone out there. And my dad grabbed his 30-06 and went out there with a flashlight and looked around, and he didn't see nothing. He didn't see anything. It was probably my mind playing tricks on me, because as a kid, your imagination can run wild sometimes, and if you witness something, or your subconscious runs away with you, then then you'll pretty much you'll have it in your head that whatever is out there is out there. And I always had that fear, and even up until now, I always have my curtains drawn. I always have my curtains closed because I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and look over.
It's kind of creepy. It's definitely a spooky feeling. I had an apartment that had a glass sliding back door too, and I would always keep those blinds closed at night. It's just a weird thing.
My grandparents got so subconscious. They had one of those as well. They had a piece of wood, a 2x4 cut, and put in the slide so where the door wouldn't open wouldn't open at all unless you remove that piece of wood. Like it wouldn't move. Yep. That was her. That she was convinced something bad was going to happen to her too, and my grandfather's paralyzed, so there wasn't no defense he could do. So it's just, again, guys, like be careful, but at the same time, just know that, just protect yourselves, and also, whenever children's minds run rampant, kids can often make stuff up, and sometimes it can lead to bad things happening, right? Mm-hmm. Especially if they...
Major pain! There's a monster in my closet!
If he's in there now, he ain't happy. Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Love that scene.
Yeah. So, okay. There's a man in the woods. A long, long time ago, in a basement, much like this one. Actually, it was this basement, if I'm being perfectly honest. Me, Micah, and Caleb all did a reaction to this, I believe. I believe it was all of us back then. So here we are doing a recap. And this recap, we are going to be watching There's a Man in the Woods. And I guess we're just going to see...
Give it my undevoted attention.
So, yeah, this is a good one, man. This is very, very good in terms of its presentation, its storytelling, its voice acting. Everything in this is so good.
Shall we dim the lights?
Oh. Why, yes, good sir. I believe I shall. Let me go ahead and do that. And let's take him down to about... right about there.
Yeah, that works.
There we go.
They can still see my face.
Oh, yeah, they can still see everything. Plus the screen will brighten up and we'll be able to see, it'll be able to see us easier. Anyway, here we go. This is A Man in the Woods.
There's a man in the woods. What a spectacle. Before the story started, this school was still respectable. My students used to skip down the hill to the honeysuckle, pluck a couple, and collect their nectar till they picked their fill. Except one obnoxious kid, Sid, who just watched them eat the flowers while he seethed and scowled because he couldn't bear to share his sweet treats throughout our recess hour. I remember Sid saying, "There's a man in the woods." That's how the rumors began. Of course, Sid had spotted him first. The poor kids. He got him immersed in his spiel about a serial killer whose gun barrel glint hints at peril. A visit to the nurse, or worse, a hearse waiting just beyond the dale. The children saw him everywhere. "Look, over there. That man had Batman ears, we swear, and crazy yellow eyes. We saw something rusty. His shotgun? It must be. I saw a lady's severed thigh." Trust me, every word I heard was absurd. Yet each day Sid would stray down way past the playground. Who else was brave enough to save us from the killer's next plot? The rest of the lot would stop back at the blacktop, sure that any closer they were bound to be found deep in the woods, left to rot. I pleaded for the kids to think and learn to be mature, but after a few more rumors doomed my attempts to prove the school was secure, their fear was undeterred, and when the buses drove them all home, the parents finally heard. Everything just blew up. I received a wall of emails and calls full of shrieks, wails, and all from terrified families who'd heard word of the murderer and didn't like my lack of action at all. What was I supposed to do? Comb the whole forest? Yeah, right. Would you? That means I didn't care? That's not fair. The stories that were you weren't true. Of course I would feel regret had there been a real threat and I ignored it. And some poor kid got kidnapped while the kids were napping. But you couldn't admit that your good little kid would formulate a fib so he ignored what I said. Your little angels could never cook up such incredible creations. An overactive imagination maybe, but my kid could never lie. How dare I? Accuse a child of being dishonest? Just monstrous. The parents were displeased, and when the PTA took action, they dismissed me from the classroom. Like they knew what was best for their kids. Do you know how difficult it is to get a job when a bitter mom slanders your rep with child neglect from the outset? Now who's in control of your classes? Single file lines? Single file lines. Little vile swine, a killer by the pines. Really? Are you blind? Will you find your spines? Sid, a child decides to fill our minds with lies, and the next thing you see is people treating me like I'm committing crimes. I was in my prime. Those kids were lucky to have me. Do you see what you did? But I can play along. I can be good. Do you hear that, Sid? There's a man in the woods.
That's cool as shit.
Okay, here's the thing. I know
that
I fully
animations
accept
come
these
up.
things popping up here. I wish YouTube would let us disable them. I really do. Annotate, you're not allowed to disable like.
No.
I
know, I've raised hell about
And here's
that
the
shit,
thing.
too.
Here's the thing. At the end of this, like, hopefully I'll let me see if I can. I'll go to the other one here, and let's see.
Yep, that one ends a little earlier.
Do you hear that, Sid?
Yeah, right here. This is the part that wasn't shown, that adds so much to it. Look at the teacher. Look at him. What happens?
There's a man in the woods.
Yeah,
He's reaching
he reached
for a
in.
gun.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah,
that.
that's I'm sad that was blocked by the stupid thing, but oh well, it is what it is. I mean,
Dude, that's just, I don't know. That was awesome. I
Yeah.
love how it was kind of like what is that? It's kind of like slam poetry, except really dark storytelling in the style. you know?
yeah. Well, I like that. I love
that
I
was
love when
awesome.
they do that kind of stuff. It's what makes it like stand out. It's what makes it so so good.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was very well done. I loved all of
Yeah,
this.
the animations were awesome. Had a little story to it, and it was just, I don't know, that was awesome.
Gosh. This is... Teacher really changed Sid's game mode from creative to survive.
That's pretty great.
I'm leaving a comment down here.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one is definitely a good one. I love this one. This is one of those little gems of the internet that I really want people to go out and find and just like become like just discover for themselves, enjoy for themselves, and just so good, man. I love it. Anyway, so yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. This was a short animated movie. There's a man in the woods. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and hopefully we will see you all in the next one. So I guess until then, everyone, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Jacob.
We'll see you then. Peace out.